-6.
-6? Don't be silly. Today is episode 83 of Radio Rothingham, the world's least professional podcast. We got with us 3 hosts for you today, with a probably 4th one. So it's, of course, the best person in the entire universe, me, the Artrix. We got with us Xaverius.
My headphones are broken.
Oh my god. We got with us Sekele.
Are going to be lucky if there are going to be more.
And there
More
might...
Sekeles? Why?
Yeah, we have enough Sekeles as this. Just saying. Unless you got a few stashed in your basement, but I don't think that's the case. And
It's
when
always good to have a backup.
Yes.
But seriously, there's a crack. I don't think the crack should be here. Like, I don't think that's a feature.
And Trijin might join us later on. He usually does actually. It's like we
more screws.
there's like this thing where he's on the other side of the entire planet, and time
No, actually,
zone.
he's just on the other side.
Got a nice hot cup of tea because I've got to bring beer. Whatever. I'm drawing Claire from that recent cartoon on the Federator site thing. That was like the short, and that this Catwoman person, and it was actually kind of nifty. So I'm gonna draw
It's
it.
kind of hilarious that, from what I've heard, out of all the shorts they released, this one was the best, and this one is like the one they released for free.
Okay.
Rest you have to actually pay for, despite the rest not being even nearly as good.
Right. Well, there was that one short they released about this this maid working in this manor, and
That
it was
was back when, that was before they realized they cannot make enough money out of YouTube to finance quality animation.
okay. So they just sorted to just being the internet shorts company that just makes a bunch of shorts and nothing else. Is that correct?
Basically, the original idea was to make quality animated series for the internet while using YouTube's advertising to finance it. But then they found out that no, YouTube does not give them enough money to finance quality content. And so old stuff they released is still on their YouTube page, but most of their new stuff is behind a paywall on VRV. They now released on their YouTube account is either clickbait videos, or, as in the case of this short, promotional material. Only that in this case, the promotional material is apparently also the best they have to offer.
So if you want to see the entire series, you have to sign up to their streaming service, basically.
Series is supposed to be a series of shorts which are collectively Go cartoons. Kind of like how Cartoon Network had What a Cartoon.
Cartoons.
How Nickelodeon had Oh Yeah cartoons. Then basically they are releasing these Go cartoons. So I have heard this one, The Summoning, is basically the best one out of the Go cartoons yet.
Well, it certainly had some quality to it. I think I even like it more than. Well, then again, that's not really that hard because that Bee and Puppy show in the earlier days. And
that was back when they were. Yeah, Bee and Puppy Cat was basically when they realized they don't have enough money, and it basically showed on the quality.
Yeah, there were some really quirky animation errors in that series, definitely.
Yeah, like it existed.
That existed, and things
No,
like
that's the animation error, Artrix.
But they still make new episodes. Only now they are behind a paywall.
Oh, right.
So nobody watches them
Yeah, I didn't even know they were still doing it.
because you
Said
see
now they
think
are
about
no
the paywall.
longer,
They put
now
them
they
behind
are
the
no
paywall,
longer
so
on
nobody
YouTube.
knows about them. Therefore, kind of going against the fact they need the paywall for somehow.
Yes.
Said they basically YouTube advertising algorithms screwed them over.
Well, it basically screwed off as it basically screwed anyone who is in animation. So unless you got a successful Patreon, yeah, as an animator, you're not going to make a decent living on YouTube. Like you
Actually, the
said, just
reason
it's just the algorithm. Like the algorithm is really geared towards people that release content daily or even hourly, like
Minutely,
minutely. Like every minute there's a new video,
yes.
and a normal fucking human being would not be able to watch it all, but some people somehow do, and that's gonna
which
make
is
all.
why those shitty rip-off videos make so much money. Those I'm talking about, of course.
Rip-off videos? You mean clickbait and whatnot?
Talking about those fake Disney things.
Ah, those things. Yeah, they basically have perfected the algorithm, and they know exactly what's getting the clicks. And since it's all automated, they can just keep churning out new content almost constantly. And you look at their
Get automated clicks.
you look at their comments, and it's got some random gibberish in it, and you think, oh, it must be some bot. But no, it's like little children just
But
slam.
no, you realize you are on YouTube, and this is standard.
No.
Which is
No.
scary.
No. I mean, I know this is YouTube, and that's the average conversation on YouTube is typically not very insightful, but still, you can make out the individual words that people are saying. You can at least string together a sentence. But these comments I'm talking about, they're nothing but like H's and J's and K's, and it's obvious that the toddler is just slamming on a keyboard while as words come, well, something that resembles words come out. So yeah, it's obviously just toddlers that the parents are like, I don't feel like dealing with you right now, so here's the fucking iPad, just entertain yourself. Here's a nice playlist of good old family friendly entertainment. There's absolutely nothing weird about this. Look at the thumbnail, it's Spider-Man. What could possibly go wrong? Kids like Spider-Man, right? Also, it's
Still wonder why the kid has some very bizarre fetishes later on.
hmm yeah, I pretty much anything under sun you can find. Though for some reason, a common theme is, well, drugs, guns, and especially pregnancy. There's a lot of pregnancy in these.
Some people on 4chan basically say that this stuff is being made by the Jews to corrupt the children of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah,
are those people on 4chan implying that there's some stuff that's not made by Jews?
Is you're saying that the world is made by Jews?
Obviously, I mean that's the natural logical conclusion of the conspiracy, isn't it?
That, but here's the real question: have they made the sun? Because if they've made the sun, there's some real big implications right there.
Well, the sun is golden, so they maybe made the world to get to the sun.
Artrix. Don't
yes?
forget Artrix. God, Jewish.
Dog Jewish?
He's Jewish.
Wait, I am Jewish?
Yes.
I didn't even know. I'm learning so much
actually Jewish.
Mm-hmm. Everyone. You viewer watching right now, you're Jewish. I'm sorry we're the ones that have to tell you, but you're Jewish. everyone on the planet's Jewish. Even if they denied, they're not even lying. They just don't know it yet. So
Do you think Adam and Eve were Jewish?
yep.
I mean,
Even the people before Adam and Eve were Jewish.
look, like for Adam and Eve, it wasn't a religion. It was just like this guy who exists and talks to us, and that it went until like Noah.
Huh?
And yeah, it's like, okay, this is nothing out of ordinary. God is talking to us. Then he stopped, and then Jews started existing.
Wait, you're implying that there was a time when Jews didn't exist?
Yes.
Because the Jews were then the only people that God still talked to.
Well, I'm not sure if I can believe that. I mean, yeah, a world without Jews. That no, I deem that to be impossible. I mean, a world without people, fine. I mean, I can totally believe that. But a world without Jews, no, just no.
What about a world without turtles?
I would even, go as far as say that was probably time when turtles didn't exist, or rather, there was probably time when turtles did exist, but were all Jewish. That's the only way it makes sense.
Turtles? How does that work?
Jewish turtles. So they're like regular turtles, but they go around spinning those spinny thingies all the time, and that's it. Also, they wear like a little thing on their head that I don't even know what they're called.
A small shell.
Yeah. Yes. Their shells are basically like what Jewish people wear on their heads, but instead it's just their shell. We're really going places here.
Jewish turtles have one small shell on their heads.
Mm-hmm. So they have a big one on their backs, but a small one on their heads. Wait a minute. It all makes sense now, because you know that the Japanese folklore, the kappas.
Yes.
Yeah. So they're Jewish too, because they've got that weird shit on their heads. Bowser's.
You have weird shit on your head.
That means Bowser's Jewish because he was based.
Oh, I think I have seen fan art of a Jewish Bowser before.
Of course, there's Jewish Bowser. I'm pretty damn sure there's Jewish version of just about any cartoon character out there.
But Artrix, does it mean that it makes everybody who Mario possesses Jewish because they suddenly have a cap on their head?
Yep. Everyone in Mario Odyssey, even even the inanimate objects, they're all Jewish, including Mario, obviously. I mean, Mario's probably the biggest Jew of them all.
He's the one who distributes the heads. He's the Jew prime.
Doesn't that make him Moses, or is it blasphemy?
Possibly, both of those.
Does Mario part the water in any part of the game? Because if he does, then yeah, definitely Mario is Zeus confirmed. I mean Moses.
Water. Yeah, Mario does not part water in Super Mario Odyssey. He did part water a few times in Super Mario Galaxy, if I remember correctly.
It's just
yeah, actually, that might be right. I'm not entirely sure, but I do vaguely remember a part in Mario Galaxy where he does do something that involves displacing water. So yeah, since that's just a hunch and it can't really confirm it right on the spot, I don't care. Mario's Moses confirmed. So yeah, what are you going to do, all the Jews in the world, which we just established is everyone? Is Mario going to be the new prophet?
Oh, Mario was always the prophet.
But now it's more legitimate. Because, well, he's the prophet. I mean, before it was like, yeah, he's a prophet, I guess, but now it's really confirmed. We have, we used science. I'm pretty sure.
Nothing confirmed.
Well, yeah, there's plenty of triangles in the Mario universe, including the Odysseys. There was I don't know. There's this one world and it's got a giant ass pyramid in it. So yeah, that's obviously Illuminati.
That world, by the way, that one world is very fascinating because on one hand it has a pyramid, Mexican skeletons.
So Aztecs. So Aztecs confirmed, or
have those how do you call them? Those big statues from Easter Island.
Oh yeah, they're now that you say it, that might be a big throwback to Super Mario Land, and at this point,
the statues on the Easter Island are a throwback to Super Mario.
I do
obviously they are.
If, that map was supposed to.
Oh my god, don't tell me my internet just died. I think it did. My ISP sure chose the perfect day to be shit. Yep. I have been disconnected. Hooray! Now you can listen to me ramble as I draw this character until my internet goes back up again. It's a good thing it doesn't fuck up the recording, because that would be awful. I should probably not even bother talking, because I'd just be rambling, not talking about anything specific, especially since I'm drawing. As we all know, men are really good at multitasking, can task all the multis. Also, I think something's fucked up about the ears. Already.
Currently, Artrix.
Yeah. Oh.
Somebody should tell him.
No, I'm fully aware that my internet was down, but it's back up. I've returned.
No, Artrix, we heard you the entire time.
Seriously?
We were calling to you. We were yelling. We were screaming, but you did not hear us.
Well, I wasn't. Okay, that's factually incorrect. I wasn't screaming, and have the recording to show for it. Anyway, so
did you actually record us?
Yeah. Well, I record you up until the moment my ISP crapped out, and
so you probably won't hear us rambling.
No, because I disconnected.
Okay, but how did you disconnect yet retain the ability to be audible to us?
Well, it's the Jews.
Yes, the Jews disconnected you, but they didn't disconnect you from us.
Well, I mean the Jews, which as we established is everyone, they discovered that we were on to their secret, so they collectively decided to DC everything. Like they just shut down the entire internet.
That sounds bad.
The Goyim are on to us, shut it all down.
Yeah. It sounds very reasonable and accurate.
Reasonable, accurate, and not at all stupid and retarded.
No, it's not. Artrix, how could you say such a thing?
Well, I just did.
Yes, I know, but how could you say such a thing?
Well, I opened my mouth and words came out.
Stop that.
No. I don't wanna. Sounds like effort.
I don't wanna.
Yes.
Anyway, now that we established that everyone in the world is Jews, we should probably bring up a topic. You know, obviously Jews are a very enticing topic. I mean, since we established that I'm a Jew and you are a Jew, and you are a Jew, and the viewer's a Jew, and the Claire is a Jew. She's obviously a Jew. I mean, look.
Are you too? Wait, no.
Look at Claire. She's obviously a Jew.
Yes.
I mean, the Jew would put a pentagram on her forehead, and she'd also be a cat lady. I mean, what is he supposed to be? Like some sort of cat?
Cat Jew.
Hmm?
He is a witch who is also a cat.
Hmm?
And a Jew.
And a Jew. Obviously.
Don't you forget it.
Mm-hmm. It's also very, very angry Jew. He's also, you know, it's also confirmed because he's also very money conscious, because he doesn't just buy all the trolls fats. He only has just enough that he needs, so he doesn't waste a dime on getting too much troll fat. Because that was the plot of the short, just saying. She needed troll fat, and she went out and buy some. There's like a twist, and I'm not going to spoil it because no spoilers, please. No spoilers in my Jewish server. I mean Christian server.
Christian, Jewish, what's the difference? Muslims will kill you all anyway.
Obviously, all the Muslims are Jews.
Oh yes, this is true.
They're just in denial.
Will expect existential crisis.
I mean, yeah, they're obviously Muslim, but yeah, we established that everyone's Jewish, even the birds and the bees, even God.
Especially God.
Anyway, I think we should start with the big elephant in the room. And by elephant, I mean something that's very dense. Like there's so much stuff going on all at once, and it's obviously Star Wars. And it's like really little video game out there. No one's heard about it. It's dumb and stupid. And by this this indie developer. I think we tend to call them electronics arts. You may know them from such marvels as the Need for Speed 1, which back in the day...
And it was Speed 2.
And the third one and the fourth one, and then it became Hot Pursuit, and I don't fucking know how many Need for Speed games are out there right now, but there's a lot of them.
At least one.
I only ever played the 2 and 3.
I only ever played the original Hot Pursuit, which was the second one.
I remember back in my day when I was a wee teenager, I had my Pentium computer, and I would play the first Need for Speed, and it was so impressive with the graphics, especially since I got my... Actually, no, the first game was...
Speedy Artrix.
So the first game was actually kind of shitty, because it had those CPU rendered graphics and whatnot. It was Need for Speed 2 that was the shit, because it had hardware accelerated graphics, dude. So it was like, whoa, I can see the reflections of the tree in the car and everything so shiny, and the frame rate is so good. You know, until...
And by shiny, he obviously means white and gray pixels.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then it obviously, in hindsight, it was obviously just a standard texture that they reflected on the material. In hindsight, it probably looks like ours, but back then, that shit was impressive.
It's technologically advanced, ours.
Yeah, but yeah, that was back when electronics art was just, well, we make games, I guess. They were just one of the game developers out there.
What a silly notion, making games, Artrix.
Yeah, I know, right? But now they're like, oh, yeah.
But
do you want? Because do you want pride and accomplishment as you buy this item in the game?
The real money.
Or you just grind for 2100 hours.
But that's what brings you to pride and accomplishment.
Yes.
Grinding for 70 hours straight.
Hey, boss, I'm going to quit. Why would you ever do that, son? You have a good job, you got a mortgage, you got a wife and 3 kids. You're doing great. Why would you ever do such a thing? Oh, you see, boss, I got this video game, And I only need to grind for 2 years to get all the content. Oh.
Actually, it's more than 2 years.
That depends on how much you play on a given day. But the amount of time you need to play the video game is insane. And given that it's content that you need to actually play the game, yeah.
Literally pay to win in the most literal sense.
I mean, we're not just talking about cosmetics here. We're talking about entire fucking characters and weapons and even like
things that are crucial to finishing the game.
So, but yeah, they calculated how much money you need to get all the content, right? Or just to finish
$2,100.
So
that's $2,100.
But I reckon that even if you just want a bunch of characters and items and whatnot, it would still cost you a significant amount of money and time and whatnot. So
yes, obviously, and that's a completely separate problem from the original problem, because originally there was another problem. Since you know, it was like with the Shadow of War, with all the orcs that you could buy. Oh, if people found out that you could buy stuff in Battlefront, they're like, oh no, you have these special star cards that do star stuff. I don't even know what they do, because why would I give money to EA to find out? And weapons and shit. And you can buy that, but then you can be better than the other person, and the other person will be very disappointed in your choices in life and be like, well, I'm going to spend money too, so I have also to gun. And you can see how this works. Oh, that was the problem. And then EA just went and made another problem for them, because people are like, we don't like this. Also, you know what? Even though you have the option here to buy all these characters for credits. Wait, are you saying that Luke and Darth Vader are locked and each one of them costs 60,000 credits?
Luke and Darth Vader, like the most basic Star Wars characters you can get.
Yes, well, it was like 40-hour grind to get those 60,000. Yes, 40 hours. That's like a work week.
Yes.
just don't go to work 1 week and grind for the Luke or to Darth Vader.
And it is to be seen whether, you know, if it's a fun game, that's one thing, but I reckon that it's probably going to be extremely repetitive, especially if you have to grind just to get a goddamn character.
Yes, and people were obviously disappointed, and they did not hesitate to voice their concerns to EA by downvoting a comment from EA to minus 700,000, which apparently became the most downvoted comment on Reddit ever by hundreds of thousands.
That is quite an achievement in and of itself if you manage to do that.
It was amazing. It was the comment about the pride and accomplishment. And there was amazing thread comments like I got my pride and accomplishment from canceling the pre-order.
Oh, you had it pre-ordered?
Yes, obviously there was pre-orders. Wait, me? No, I wouldn't.
Oh, yeah.
But
because I didn't really take you as the kind of person to pre-order video.
A person on Reddit said that.
Ah.
And various other people who were riffing on that pride and accomplishment that should apparently come from 40 hours of grinding. So EA was like, okay, maybe we made a small mistake after, you know, most of their comments were downvoted.
It's a tiny
forever.
mistake.
Yes, it's a tiny, honest mistake. Everybody, I mean, Artrix, haven't you made such a mistake in your life? Everybody
to pre-order something?
No.
Oh.
To lock your characters behind 40 hours of grind.
No, I never accidentally locked my character behind 40 hours of grinding.
Okay, maybe you didn't. Lots of people did, Artrix. That's like a very common and very honest mistake.
Well, maybe I should get into that. So from now on, if you want to see the latest Radio Rothingham, you have to grind through 20 episodes. So you have to watch 20 episodes of Radio Rothingham, no skipping, and then you can watch new episode. And yes, only then.
No, Artrix, look.
Oh yeah, you have to pay us.
And then they can watch the video, watch the episodes with Triton.
Yes. Yeah, you also need to have the Trigen achievement, which is watching all the episodes that has Trigen in it. Which is
You know
like...
what? This is an amazing. Okay, record everybody into separate tracks. Then you unlock the tracks with Pigeon, and you have to re-listen to all of your again.
Basically, if nobody unlocks me, they won't lose anything.
Well, obviously you are the one for 15,000 credits. It's only like 10 hours. Not 40.
Yeah,
Yes,
and there's no drawing in any of the episodes. It's paid DLC. So
yes, obviously.
So
infinite. See, Artrix, that's infinite re-listenability.
So that's DLC. You have to grind to unlock all the co-hosts. Oh, and of course I'm going to retroactively, make all the really old episodes. I'm gonna make them DLC. So if you want to have access to the archives, you have to pay a monthly subscription. It's only €20 a month.
Of course, the gaming press, the people who complain about these reasonable business practices.
Yes. I think you might be lagging.
Yes, he had bad internet. Bad internet.
He's obviously lagging pretty badly right about now because he was in the middle of the story and then he just disappeared. He's like the Avatar.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
You haven't paid for your internet DLC.
That basically, like to be expected, the gaming press immediately jumped in and called everyone complaining toxic and entitled and white and privileged.
Obviously. Did they mention Gamergate?
Of course they mentioned Gamergate. As a matter of fact, Gamergate is one of the most vocal opponents to microtransactions in general.
I think I haven't had a journalist mention Gamergate for like 2 months now.
They must be up to something. They're probably
journalists? Artrix, the journalists or the Gamergate?
Well, we established everyone's Jewish, so obviously it's gonna be hot Jew on Jew action. Oh yeah. But that also means that now we have a situation where we have Jews against Jews, so they're
you always lose.
So we're really going to see who's going to out Jew on it. Who's going to out Jew on another. Who's gonna be the one to out Jew the other person. So who's gonna be the biggest Jew? The Gamergators or the games journalists? Or both?
Jews Jew.
Jew. I Jews you.
Means Cartman is going to get an erection.
So Artrix, would it be a Pikachu or a Jukachu?
Obviously it's gonna be a Jukachu. The best thing about all of this, I in just in case anyone gets the impression that I'm anti-Semitic or anything, I personally don't really care much about the Jews. They're just sort of out.
Me neither.
I hate everybody.
And Xaverius just hates everyone. So, that neatly ties into into the theme of everyone's Jewish. Because Xaverius hates everyone equally.
Yeah, so everybody is Jewish and a Nazi at the same time.
Oh, obviously.
And skinhead and black.
Isn't that kind of what they did with Marianopolis? They're like, hey, you're mean, and but oh wait, but you're gay and Jewish. Yeah, obviously it doesn't count for you. You're not part of the oppression stack. You're evil.
If you haven't realized yet, SJUs actually hate Jews.
Yeah,
Like
I get that impression lately.
Yeah,
there is.
I saw nice news about some. Uh, I don't know who was it. Some guy. He was doing stuff at the university, and pro-Palestine pupils were like, "No, you are Jew. Stop speaking. You are evil." Because apparently that's what you do when you are in a university.
Oh yeah. Well, we got
Stop random speakers based on their ethnicity.
well, that's nothing new. I mean, they've been doing that quite
wait,
extensively.
American universities are now banning Jews.
No. The person was speaking there, but the students were like, "No, shut up. We like Palestine more." So he had to stop speaking.
Hmm?
Basically, because Palestine, they told a Jewish guy to be BTFO.
Pretty much.
And personally, I don't care about either side of this whole conversation. Like, oh, free Palestine and oh, Israel. I'm like, I don't care.
Yes,
Okay. You know, okay. I care because whatever you do, leave Intel out of it. Okay, just leave their headquarters alone. Other than that, do whatever it is you must do.
Alex, what has Intel given to us? Like,
I don't know, but I mean they're okay, I guess. So what did they do to the whole situation? They're just there. You know that they even give people jobs. It's fine.
Jesus Christ, Intel, are you even Jews?
Well, yeah. As a matter of fact, this is true facts. I'm not making this shit up. You can completely trust me. I'm a very trustworthy person. Because in the Intels, there was this one time when they wanted to get more Orthodox, like really hardcore Jews to be part of the company, which is really hard because you need to accommodate for their religious practices and whatnot. So they were doing that with limited success. Apparently, not a lot of these kinds of Jews are really into holding these tech positions because, well, it's demanding and you can't really combine that.
You basically have to work on Sabbath.
Yeah, for instance, and they don't like that. So Intel's like, yeah. Well, you know what? Let's have a diversity quote instead. So now it's all about the women's and that sort of thing. Inida Sarkeesian came along. She's like, "You guys need more women's," and then Intel's like, "Why?" And then it's like, "Just be a kuwaze." And then Intel's like, "Oh yeah, here have $40,000 or something like that to make it happen." And something tells me they didn't actually go ahead and hire more women. I don't think they actually ended up hiring more women. They just ended up firing a lot of men. So the men to woman ratio equalized, sort of. And then I can say, yeah, see, we got enough women now in tech.
This is why feminism sucks.
Yeah, kinda. I mean, we all know that meritocracy is that's another word you've been seeing around a lot lately. The phrase whiteness. Like 5 years ago, you wouldn't even hear anyone utter this retarded phrase. Now it's all over the place. And to be honest, I'm not entirely sure what the intended meaning of the word is. So
basically, being white is a crime, and if you are white, you must be killed.
Well, I suppose it is supposed to refer to like white culture in general and everything typically associated with white people, or at least that's the intended purpose, because we all know it's just white people, ergo bad, no questions asked. But it's it's one of those words that really needs to go away. Just as things like blackness and Asian.
Yes, Artrix. It's one of the words that need to go, just like white people.
No.
Hey, and the payment is baby hands.
Wait, what? The payment is baby
And
hands?
the payment is baby hands.
Yes.
Chop off the hands of white babies.
Okay. Yeah, no, how about we don't? Just no. You know, let's just. I know this might be a very radical idea, but let's just treat everyone equally. If you are a legal citizen in a
But
country,
that's oppressive.
I don't fucking care. Also, it's not oppressive. If everyone gets the same treatment and the same opportunities, which is not, and that's of course the crux of the whole problem. What a lot of these people want is outcome of equality of outcome. So as essentially, it's everyone sinks down to lowest common denominator. So if we can, so it's basically communism. If everyone gets to live in a crappy little house with the
Except
minimal.
this would be even. The problem is that this would be even worse than communism.
Because they also discriminate on race, isn't it? They would argue, well, yeah, you whiteys have oppressed these black people for long enough, so the blacks get to live in this house, and you get to live in this shit little house with barely enough food to live off. I mean, just be happy that we keep you alive. And
Yes.
you can
Even
be
though that in this day and age, it's actually blacks oppressing blacks.
and so yeah, I got that going on. Whereas my vision is more like, well, if you're talented, no matter what ethnicity you are, what your background is, everyone should have a fair chance of succeeding. So if a company is like, yeah, you qualify in every way possible, and but we're not gonna hire you because you're a woman, or yeah, that's obviously not good. But if the best candidate is a white man, fair enough. If they studied hard, did everything to qualify, which, especially in this day and age, is quite an achievement, then that's fair enough. Of course, there's some gray area, like if you apply for a job and you do qualify, but the employer thinks you would not fit in the current environment of this company, well, yeah, that can be construed as discrimination. So that's probably the gray area of this whole debate, so to speak. But I don't think that was particularly what this discussion was all about, wasn't it? I mean, what did prompt this? Something about schools banning Jews from speaking.
Yes, so back to EA.
So, what about them EAs?
All them EAs were like, maybe we made a tiny little smallish mistake.
Instead of grinding 6 billion hours, you only have to grind 2 billion hours now.
Yes, they reduced it to, what was it, by 75%. So you don't have to grind 60,000 points, you only need to grind 15,000 points. But you know, what they did, which they did not announce with a grandiose announcement, I guess, was that they also reduced the gain of the points by 75%, so effectively nothing changed.
Also, didn't they recently announce that they would actually drop all the micropayments from the initial release?
Yes, because people didn't like the 75% reaction, which gave them positive rep, except also stealthily nerfing the gain by 75%. So yes, the downvoting continued. And then EA was like, yeah, okay, maybe we should stop. Yeah, we are definitely.
We can see.
Please stop! Stop
oppressing me.
Pre-orders. Yes, stop oppressing EA by canceling the pre-orders. Because, I mean, they even hit the button to cancel them pre-orders.
So you had to actually call them up and say, hey, I want to cancel my pre-order.
Yes, and the wait times were apparently 60 minutes.
And you had to pay for them.
Was it the pay number? So in before you end up paying just as much for a copy as that would cost you just buy the game or the pre-order. Yeah. I kind of get the impression that maybe it's just me, maybe I'm just a misogyny nerd, I don't know, but I kind of get the very faintest, slightest impression here that maybe, just maybe, I should never buy a game from EA ever again. Like, maybe. just not buy EA games ever at any point in my life, because they basically do nothing but screw people over. Which, as a consumer, is the only thing you can do, really. Can't really, there's not really much you can do other than just not giving them your money. I mean, yes, there's always going to be people that buy these games. There's not much you can do about that, but you can make them bleed as much as you can as an individual. And of course make a big fuss whenever they do this sort of shit. So it creates one big PR clusterfuck to the point where they can't possibly...
the best worst part is that they were defending themselves, claiming that in this day and age, it is impossible to make a game without this sort of financial bleeding of the consumer. Despite the fact that this is the same year as we got The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, Nier Automata, all games full of content with absolutely no microtransactions.
Well, yeah, there's still plenty of them out there. So if we as consumers buy those and then give the middle finger to EA...
Buy games? Huh.
Yes.
Buy games. Huh.
Yeah.
What a curious concept.
Are you implying that you don't buy games, Xaverius?
I'm implying I only buy good games.
Well, okay, that's a fair point. But
and Mafia 2, which doesn't fucking work without Steam. That's my biggest mistake I ever made.
Wait, you got Mafia 2 on Steam?
No, I got Mafia 2 on DVD, and it wants Steam.
Oh wait, you got it on physical media, and it wants you to log in on Steam. Yeah, that's not entirely new. As a matter of fact, the only reason
there's a Steam installer on the DVD, and I run it, and it's like, Tong! FID something error. You need to be gay to install this thing. I'm like, I'm not gay. And it's like, you don't get the game. So I spent a week trying to find a Mafia 2 in Czech on which I did, by the way.
There's a very easy loophole to that. You just cross your finger and you say, I'm not gay, I'm gay with an H. Then it's completely fine.
Well, then you only get to play the demo version.
Yeah. But the reason I got Steam is actually because I bought the orange box back in 2007.
In my case, it was because of Team Fortress 2.
Oh yeah, that's the orange box. It contains Team Fortress.
No. Team Fortress is for free.
Well, okay, so you got it when it was already free to play.
Yes, well, that's the only reason why I have Steam in the first place is because Team Fortress 2 needed it. That's all.
Because
if I didn't decide to play Team Fortress 2 one day, I would not have Steam. I would probably not have all those games that I won over the years on giveaways. So maybe it was not entirely bad. It was only like partially bad. It was still bad though.
Well, I got Steam because I bought the orange box, which contains like Half-Life and oranges, lots of oranges.
Half-Life 2 Episode 2 Part 2.
I think I got the orange box like a year after Team Fortress hit the market, and even back then it was like dirt cheap. I believe I paid something like 20 euros for it, and for that price you have 3 games, I believe. That the original Portal, it had Team Fortress and the original Half-Life, I believe. And later on I bought the Valve pack, which was also like 2 tenors, and that had like all the Left 4 Deads and and Portal 2. That was kind of peculiar. You could buy Portal 2 for €20, or you can just buy the Steam Valve pack, which was the same price or even cheaper than that. So that was kind of peculiar. Like, okay, so I either just buy this one game, or buy all of these games and pay even less.
So you basically paying extra for not getting the game you don't want.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, after Artrix, as far as Mafia goes, it was about €50 on the Steam, and I got it for about 10. Obviously, it's still on Steam, so I ended up torrenting it anyway. But hey, at least now, even legally, I have the right to do this.
Well, yeah. If you bought the game, then you should be free to just
The box was smaller than usual and orange. I should have right just based on that.
I mean, I downloaded ROMs of my Nintendo games, which I bought. So I don't really see. It is morally gray because Nintendo's like, yeah, officially you're pirating, but then again, that's a nice story, bro. It's nice if you think that, Nintendo, but I think the law disagrees. I think it's even specifically stated in Dutch law that you're allowed to make a home copy. So if you own the rights to property, you are allowed to make a backup on your media.
That's why I buy DVDs, not just fucking digital shit. And this is exactly why the Steam dependence of stuff that's on DVD fucks it up. I bought the DVD specifically because I wouldn't have to use Steam.
No, personally, I don't really mind Steam all that much, because typically I buy a game, play it a bunch of times, and most of the times I'm just simply done with it. So I don't really care all that much about the archive.
You don't have to care about the storage. You don't have to care about downloading. You just have the data at hand all the times, even without the internet. Like, you can live in a nuclear wasteland as long as you have a gas generator that generates electricity. You can play the game. You can't do that when you have a game on Steam.
Don't a lot of games work in offline mode once you actually bought it?
Yes, but you have to start Steam for that and switch it to offline mode.
Yes, which you can if you're offline.
Well, now that option wasn't there before.
I'm pretty sure it is there now.
Yes, it is.
Because I clearly remember playing Left 4 Dead in offline mode while I was on the plane or something like that. And obviously there's no internet on an airplane. Well, I say obviously, these days you can actually, use the internet on airplanes if you pay enough. I don't even know how they do it. It's like witchcraft. It must be the Jews. They must have figured out some ritual to make it work with their Jewish ways. Then again, yes. we established that everyone's Jewish. So
yes. Also, since we didn't finish the EA thing. Apparently, you know what happened, Artrix?
Tell me what happened.
People were mean. And they were mean to a developer on Twitter. And probably told him to go kill himself or something, because that's what you do on the internet. And everybody was very distraught and unhappy and generally very offended about it, unless it turned out that said developer wasn't even from EA.
It was someone completely unrelated.
Yes, apparently.
Claimed to have been harassed.
Yes.
But yeah, the reaction when it comes to the gaming press, when it comes to these microtransactions, are kind of mixed bag. It doesn't seem like the gaming press is as unified on this matter as one would believe initially, because some actually seem to strongly condemn the whole microtransactions thing. Which may actually be, you could explain that by the fact that a lot of them are just straight up communists. So they see So yeah, they see all this shit going on and like, yeah, no, this is this is what happens if you let capitalism run wild, and yeah, we need communism now. They won't straight up. They won't straight up say it, of course, because as we just established, everyone's a Jew, so that's physically impossible. But
look, if there are no games, then there's no problems with games.
If there, oh yeah, I see what you did there.
Or alternatively, since it's modern communism, it's not like the old communisms. Those were not real communisms because those people did it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So in this new
Except that there is not a way to do it right.
In this new and proper and correctly done communism, you will have video game. Yes, a video game, or rather, the video game.
So what you are saying?
Why would you need more than one video game, Artrix? Like just let the party make the video game the best video game you could ever have.
But we already have it, because what if we just all revert to Tetris, the ultimate communist video game?
No, Artrix, look, one of those blocks is just nothing but phallic. It's just it's a penis.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it makes me wonder how that could ever been developed during communist times. So
because communists had no problem with phallic symbols.
Oh, so it was just ass and titties that they had an issue with.
Are you saying communists liked penises?
They probably did. I recently came across a post on Reddit, of all places, where they found a book from the Soviet Union which depicted all the acrylic letters, but instead of just letters, there were people and they were naked and they were having sex. So yeah, that's a thing that came out of the Soviet Union. So they weren't that Puritan. Just
communists didn't like homosexuals. Otherwise, they were okay with sex.
Well, I was almost going to say why, but it's actually fairly obvious, because homosexuals don't create offspring, which means no more slaves. I mean workers.
Oh, you know what they say, Artrix? Family is the basic cell of the state.
Until the baby's born, then you can just take it away and raise it as a worker.
Well, possibly. In the true and properly done communism, yes. But as we all know, the communism that was here was not true and properly done. So people actually had to raise their own children. Imagine the terror.
Actually, I have to point out, this is very important. This is super serial. Apparently, yes, there was a time when they actually did attempt to take children away and raise them in collectivized families. Like, oh, you got a son. Well, congratulations. We're just gonna take it, and we're going to take it to here, and we're gonna raise it here. And yes, we're calling it because
they kind
and the worst part out exists. I don't even know if that's 1920s Russia or 1960s America.
But yeah, they obviously stopped doing that. And then
we found out that they did not have the proper means to organize something like this. If there were, many of them.
Yeah. Well, we actually had sort of a combination of this and a preschool, because since communism, everybody worked like 25 hours a day, so that usually wasn't time for like being at home and caring for your children.
I mean, who would want to do that, right?
Yeah, like why would you raise your children instead of building the homeland?
Yes. So you're saying that in Czechoslovakia they did extensively, try and raise children collectively.
Not really.
Oh.
Just like, well, you have to work, so just put them into this thing. You can retrieve them in the afternoon.
Oh, so basically it was, well, as you would expect from a socialist country, they had like collectivized daycare centers
Yes.
So
It was a preschool. Yes,
So-
Sekele knows what I'm talking about.
So it's basically where you send your babies to, so you can work for the glorious motherland.
Yes, yes, yes.
Then once they were old enough to not die when left alone, they would give them back to you.
No, you could retrieve them if you wished so.
So yeah,
Well,
your son is barely like a few months old, but you can entrust him with the state. It's okay. We'll take care of it. It's a son. It's a he. We don't care. He's it now. He's ours now.
yes. Oh,
I mean, we'll
as I said,
I guess
it's like a
okay.
Artrix. It's like a preschool. So you put children that don't die when left alone as
quickly as
it's from 1 to 3 years, because 3 is typically when you go to preschool.
So essentially, what it's saying is that only during the first year of a child's life, they really have like the full time attention from their parents. But after that, well,
Yes, then they went to work for 8-10 hours a day, and then they took the child back.
welcome.
Maybe 6 hours a day. I mean, communism actually tended to be quite lenient to mothers. If you wanted to, like, there was stuff you could agree upon to work less. So you have this child of yours. See, this would be a ideal solution for all those feminists in those CEO positions, because we all know we have thousands of them, right? You just take a year break to make your child not die when you stop looking at it, and then you just shove it into the preschool and go work.
Yeah.
So that's why they want communism. I see.
It all makes sense now. That and the women are obviously Jews, so they're behind it all. But wait a minute, I'm a Jew too, so no. Oh god damn it! It all makes less and less sense. I'm confused.
It's fun though how all those successful women people are complaining that nobody wants them and nobody wants to have children with them. And they're like, but if I have children, then I will have to stop being successful. Let's not do it yet. Yes, that's a very astute observation. Of course, you can't have a children things and be successful CEO of something at the same time. I mean, not even men can handle that. And men don't have to spend 9 months being increasingly bloated.
Yes. I mean, if you make enough money so the father can basically stay home and take care of the kids, that's perfectly fine. If you can finance that and are fine with that, more power to you. But yeah, the biological reality of our species is that it's the women that bear the children. There's no way to get around that. Well, at least until we develop artificial uteruses. But yeah,
this is why I agree with more women into STEM. We need to figure out those baby jars.
The moment we do that, then we can truly speak about transhumanism.
Really free as a society.
Then we can finally get rid of women.
Yes, Alex, now we are really free as a society. Just put the baby in a jar for 9 months, and maybe for 9 months and 1 year, and put it into the state preschool, and just
Oh my god! Oh my!
Checking on the child.
Holy shit, dude! That means that we can literally create the reality from Invader Zim, where you just have this giant battery of incubation cells, and timer goes. I was like, yep, this kid's done. You just crack that egg open. It's like, welcome to live. Report for duty. And then the baby's like, oh dada.
I love you.
Was right.
Feeling metal arm.
Oh yeah, that was a great scene. Definitely one of the most memorable scenes from that entire series. It also kind of explains, why Zim is as crazy as he is, because he's just, why the entire Irkin society is crazy as it is, because it's essentially just all you know is there's the Irkin Empire. I was incubated at one point. I don't have any parents. No one loves me or cares about me because I'm just, part of this Zork-like collective.
But at least you have thumbs.
At least you have opposable thumbs. Or just thumbs.
In general.
Yeah.
You don't have to be opposable, just have them.
You just have them, that's good. That's good enough, I guess.
I agree.
Also, this character looks kind of interesting, given that he is fully rendered opposed to the flat colors from the actual cartoon. This kind of an interesting drawing. That usually I draw fairly complex characters. This one's is a lot more simplistic in that regard, but still. Anyway, do we have more topics? Yeah, I think I got a topic that we can all, chime in on.
You think?
Yes. Well, we established in this episode that we're all Jews, but some Jews are more Jewish than others. Those Jews
Some are more equal than others.
yes, especially those in the European Union, because they decided, you know what? Well, actually, they don't.
Do you know what?
No, actually, they don't say it anymore because Brexit. So instead, they say le you Mac. So yeah, they came together and you're like, you know what? Yeah, let's create an army. Let's just do it. Let's do it now. And everyone agreed. Well, everyone in the European.
They said the now part like a year ago.
Mm-hmm. But they just hadn't put into practice yet, and they were like, oh yeah, but now that Britain is out of the way, it's slightly easier because we got all these, we got Germany.
Because we got rid of those people who disagree, and the other people who disagree are far too weak to do anything.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, Germany was like, hey, let's build an entire army, and the rest of Europe was like, do you have a choice? And Germany's like, no, you don't. So now the entirety of Europe, now the entirety of the European Union is one big army, including us. We are the army now.
The great European Jewish army.
Yeah, especially the Jewish part, every single one of us. So yeah, just another sign that
sign of the end times.
Just another sign that the European government, the EU government, is kind of speeding up the process, since they're realizing that more and more people don't have a good sentiment about the European Union. So
basically now they can kill all of those people.
Well, they can't yet, because even though they
They
made
still
this,
haven't taken our guns.
that and
They've taken a part of the guns, but not all of them.
so from what I've gathered, skimming through the articles, from what I can gather, it basically means that there's a bit more cooperation between the European armies, which used to be a little bit more difficult, like getting materials from Germany to Netherlands, for instance, would take a fair bit of paperwork, and they kind of reduced that. So this is a fairly small step. They're calling it historic, but then again, this European Union, there are a bunch of Jews just like everyone else on the planet, but they're a bit better at it than everyone else. So they're like, yeah, they're calling it historic. Like, yeah, we signed this treaty and now we have the European army, and then I'm like, no, it just means that you made it a little bit easier for yourselves.
So how does
Actually,
it...
cannot
What's
come-
the historic part of it?
Sorry? Well, you see, it's in history now. That's why it's historic. You see.
But how historic? It's like...
Well,
Is
now.
Is it like the... Artrix, is it like the Grand Alliance of the 19th century?
Hell no. It's that was
I'm not sure.
that was truly epic. There was like just a bunch of old dudes coming together in a room, and they just posed in front of a photo camera, and they end up looking like gnomes. Like if you look at the picture, they're all lined up in front of national flags, but you only see the top of them, so it looks like they're just all bunch of gnomes. with
Well, to
red
be
hats,
fair,
green
the Grand
hats.
Alliance was also a meeting of some old dudes.
Yeah, but they didn't
And they
look
were
like
like, we are
gnomes.
not changing the borders. We like it this way. Fuck peasants. I mean, that's not that dissimilar.
Wait, was that post World War One, where they decided?
No, it was
But
Oh,
that was like before World War
it
One.
oh,
was
it's even.
post-Napoleonic Wars.
Ah, yeah.
Where the biggest kings were like, we should stop the wars. Like, let's keep Germany big.
Hmm. That was probably in Germany's interest. Just
Yes.
maybe just.
And everybody else's interest. Because Napoleon kind of fucked up the entire Europe.
Hmm? You know, Europe was doing pretty well for itself, but then Napoleon came.
And it was like, this is mine. This is also mine. This all is mine. Get out.
But I have to give it to him. You know, you can say what you want about Napoleon. He was kind of a dick. He was kind of a dick. I'll give you that. He was not very nice. I mean, he kind of just a little bit oppressed the Netherlands. He took over and he was, he installed like a dictator who ended up being very sympathetic to the Dutch. So he just removed him and
Penis
replaced
potato.
So yeah, he was he was kind of a dick. But say what you want, but at least he brought us the metric system. we owned, but all we needed was a big war, and then all this death and destruction and colonialism and whatnot. But we have the metric system, so it's all fine.
That's the that's the bright side. But on the not so bright side, he brought ballet to Russia.
Yeah, and that's why we now have Anastasia, which is an okay movie, but it's got dancing rodent in it. And I'm not sure if I like that.
Yes, I mean, what kind of villain is Rasputin? All he has are bugs and rats. That's at least zombies. Zombies.
That's a funny thing about that movie. I'm still for the life of it, I don't really know why they picked Rasputin. He was like the I think he like the real Rasputin was like the royal family's confidant.
Yes. Well, he fucked the queen.
Mm-hmm.
And other jolly stuff like that.
Yeah, but he wasn't exactly the villain. He was actually quite fond of the royal family, whereas in the movie he was portrayed as.
It was mostly because they were afraid they would lose if they depicted, like, for example, Lenin or Stalin as villains. Despite the fact that communism...
God, I remember, yes. They portrayed the... Well, okay, they didn't really portray it as that positive because it was portrayed as, oh yeah, communist revolution. Everyone's dancing in the street and singing. And it's all jolly and fun. And then later on in the movie, it's everyone just working their asses off because they're like, oh yeah, this communism is not really all that's cracked up to be, but gotta make a living.
And if you don't make a living, they're just going to chain you to the factory floor. So what's the choice here?
Wait, did they do that in the movie?
No, not in the movie, but in World War II.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm not at all.
It was a clever trick to boost productivity. If they can't leave, all they can do is work or die by overworking.
In the capitalistic society, it's like, yeah. So if we make a lot of money, you get more pay. And in Soviet time, it's like, if we produce more, then you won't starve, I guess, and you won't be chained up to the floor of the factory. How does that sound? Oh yeah, and you get the pride and accomplishment. Oh god. But
speaking of slavery,
oh yeah,
you know how our little sunshine friends in the Bay Area like to say that all slavery was done by white people to black people. How white people are the only ones to have ever done slavery.
Well, it's
And
obviously true.
According to communism, any kind of wage is slavery.
Oh, but I got paid for a gig just now. Does
Look,
it mean I'm a slave?
Ethics. Look, we can all agree that Marx wasn't a very practical person.
But what are you talking about? Marx was a very successful businessman. Oh, wait. No,
I'm
he
just
wasn't.
basing it on the fact that he lived at his friend's house.
Hmm? You know, he was like that stoner dude that you know you're friends with, and you know he's kind of cool. You know, he's fun to hang out with, but he's always asking you for money, man. Like, oh man, I'm a bit short this month. Can I bum off some money off you? I'll pay it back.
Hey, Engels, you have a joint?
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, tell me about that proletariat and whatnot. Yeah, man.
Wow, this class struggle is deep, man.
Yeah, if you know if you do a little bit of farming, you know, uh, I can like I can work the factory, you know, do a bit of factory work every now and then. They'll be fine.
As the part-time farmer, part-time factory worker.
You know, if you do a little bit of factory work, you know, I'll look after the crops a bit. You know, it's gonna work. Don't worry. And then there was the Great Famine or something shit like that. I don't know
Yes.
about that.
That's exactly how they did it.
Just collectivized farming. What can possibly go wrong? Well, everything.
Some people survived.
Anyway, something about slavery, like
Yeah.
actual slavery.
Europe countries that are kind of responsible for guarding the outside borders of the European Union, at least the ones
No.
you know near the ocean, since those are the ones where they keep leaking in. Well, they actually started doing their job and started guarding the borders.
They must be really racist.
What do you mean? It's like Romania was guarding the borders a long time ago. Actually, they did shoot some people.
About the likes of Italy, Greece, and so on, you know,
Hmm.
those people. Caroline Merkel is very triggered, but that's besides the point. Basically, the human traffickers were making money out of transporting people from the Middle East and North Africa into Europe. They suddenly found out that no, we can't bring them to Europe anymore. And so they decided, well, when we can't bring them to Europe, then maybe we can sell them. Africans in Africa started selling Africans and Middle Eastern people to rich Africans as slaves.
It's just like 3,000 years ago.
History
Yes,
is doomed to repeat itself.
And it's no longer white people doing it. So no, they can't use it against us anymore. So fuck you.
Wait a minute. If I acquire a few million euros, you know, I walk down the street, I just happen to find a 10 million euro note just laying out there. I'm like, this is totally legit. This is a 10 million euro note. So-
Artrix finding so much money is illegal. Just find a million 10 euro notes. instead.
I'll be very secretive about it. No one will know. Also, I'm a Jew, so I am a good lawyer. Don't worry.
Yes, the police is also Jews, though.
Yeah, but I'll out-Jew them. Don't worry. I mean, you can't be a lawyer and a policeman at the same time. The logic dictates that.
Unless in communism, then you are part-time lawyer and
Well,
part-time.
I'm not sure if he knows, but we don't quite live in communism yet. But that's
time.
anyway. So I walk down the street and I find a 10 million euro note, and I go down to Africa. I'm like, Okay, so how much for this human being, who's obviously also Jew, and they're like, yeah, that'll be 200,000 euros. I'm like, okay, here. So what happens if I take that human, which is at that point my property, I go down to, I don't know, some random town in Africa. I'm like, you're free.
Then they can capture him and sell him to you again.
No. Because here's the part where the being a Jew part comes in. Because I obviously make them sign a contract that stipulates that they can't slave the dude. So
then somebody else does it.
So once at least the guy is
but
free.
then somebody else who doesn't have the contract with you can do it.
I obviously make sure that
you have to sign the contract with the entire Africa, including that dude.
Well, obviously I do that then. So I do that, and then some dude comes up to me and say, or chick, let's not be sexist, and they're like, hey you, I'm like, you woman, and like, you're a slave, human trafficker. You own slaves. You're the problem. Like, I just bought him to set him free. Is that morally wrong to buy a slave just to set him free?
Obviously, yes, even though because we were supposed to take care of the slave. We just let him into the wild. How do we know he's gonna survive? It's like with parrots, Artrix. You don't just let out parrots.
Well, that is true. If you it's kind of a bad comparison. If you buy doggy and you set it free, then yeah. But then again, we're comparing a doggy to a slave. That's not a very good idea. Don't, ladies and gentlemen, don't do that. Don't compare doggies to slaves, to human slaves. I mean, for all intents and purposes, doggy is a dog slave.
Everything you own is your slave, Artrix.
Yeah, my computer is my slave.
Yes.
It has to do exactly the computer is the biggest slave of them all, because the computer has to do exactly what I tell it to do, and by design is compelled to do so. When I touch the stylus on my Cintiq, it will send exactly those signals to the computer always.
Yeah, this is a really big problem. Computer slavery.
Yeah, I think we
Free the chip.
I think we uncovered the greatest social injustice in our modern times, and it's right below our noses. Social justice warriors haven't even touched up upon it. They haven't even thought about it. They're participating in this heinous crime of enslaving our computer brethren. So hereby I ask all the viewers to please go to #FreeTheComputer and set your computer free. Just chuck your computer out of the window and set it free. Let it roam wild. Let it do its own thing. And then you realize that it's just laying down the street, and then a trash collector comes by, and then they'll fine you for littering. And then you're like, oh, that was actually not a very good idea. And also now I have to pay on 120 euros for littering.
Then that's how you find out that computers want to be enslaved.
Yeah, they kind of do. They kind of depend on, it's kind of akin to modern cows and pigs and basically any domesticated animal. We enslave them. I mean, we literally keep pigs alive just so we can kill them and eat them. But without us, they wouldn't exist.
Exactly.
Especially that breed.
That's Artrix why vegetarians or vegans have no say in this. Yes, we are killing animals and eat them, but see, we are the total masters, because without us they wouldn't even exist.
An entire species of pigs and cows and chickens, they only exist because we allow them to.
Possibly. But those that are killed and eaten, those exist just to be killed and eaten.
Well, they all exist just to be bred and eaten, except for maybe a few rare exceptions, like that one chicken that got its head chopped off, and it kept living for another, I don't know, 4 weeks. I mean, the owner went around and at shows. It was like, hey, I mean, I have to do this in like a 1930s style. Ladies and gentlemen, come here and watch me to show the amazing headless chicken. This headless chicken will walk around without a head because it is a headless chicken. Look at it.
With no head.
With no, absolutely no head, no strings, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this. See my hand going between the head and the non-existing head. It's amazing. Come see the headless chicken. Even though technically the chicken was not really headless because a part of its brainstem was still in there. So that's why the chicken was still able to, well, not die. Basically, it was probably not really aware of anything that was going on around it because, you know, it's got no eyes or nose or mouth. But its reptilian brain was still there. So everything to keep its heart going and lungs and whatnot was still working just fine. It just couldn't ponder the meaning of existence, that's all. And who really needs that? Alright, you know, since we're approaching the end of the episode anyway, do we have one more topic we want to bring up? Maybe
I googled this chicken, and apparently the chicken died tragically. Yes, because they were feeding him with a eyedropper and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And then one day they were at a motel, and the chicken started choking, but they forgot all their syringes at home or something.
Oh.
So the chicken, it was called Mike, the headless chicken. Mike, the headless chicken, has tragically died by choking to death.
That sucks. Because, you know, if done properly, that chicken could have lived for a long time. Oh, something tells me my internet crapped out again. According to... Yep, according to OBS, I'm still going. Oh, it's Discord that DC'd. GG Discord. GG. Well, it's a good thing that this drawing is almost done anyway. I mean, look at it. It is an interesting little character. I wonder, is this legitimately just Discord crapping out, or is my internet connection kind of crap right now? Well, this is awkward. You know what? Let's try rebooting Discord. Maybe that'll work. Though that doesn't technically reboot Discord. It just reopens the window. Let's have a look at my main screen. There you go. Quit Discord and run that fucker again. Nope, it's still connecting. Well, you know what? I'll wait another 5 minutes so we can at least properly end this episode. But at this rate, it's probably gonna take a little longer than that. I'll even try disabling my firewall, though I doubt that has anything to do with it. Discord, quit Discord, and run that shit again. So at least now I know it's not a firewall that's in the way. It's connecting. Ugh. But yeah, this is kind of annoying. Well, in the meantime, I can add the finishing touches. Maybe. Oh god. It works. I'm connecting to voice, but I can't hear you guys. Oh god, you all left. You know what? That means the episode's over. So let's see. Radio Rothingham. Oh, I think I know what's going on. There wasn't just me. There was the entire of Discord that just crapped out on everyone because it's just people reconnecting. Oh dear God. Well, Discord sure chose the perfect moment to crap out on me. Yeah, I see all sorts of people gradually reconnecting to Discord. And we have it live on TV. And I got a new follower on the Picartos. Hooray! We got Sekele, Xaverius. They're back to Discord. It's voice. It's a sound.
The thing got stuck.
Yeah, it looks like there was the entire of Discord just stopped.
Still recording?
We're still recording, but
okay.
yeah, it wasn't just me. It was the entire of Discord that just decided to no
like
longer.
Just suddenly, I was disconnected.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it went away.
So, but yeah, I guess we're just here to say that
The mic, the headless chicken, lived for 2 years.
yes.
Point remains.
For 2 years, I mean, the accident happens to him when he was 5.5 months.
That's a pretty young chicken.
Yes, so apparently a headless chicken can live. Well, he had 1 ear, so he wasn't completely headless.
Mm-hmm.
He could hear people, kinda.
And anyway, Sekele, you were saying?
Yeah, so when were we exactly interrupted?
I honestly don't remember.
I was kind of interrupted back when I was ranting about how slavery is not an exclusively white thing, and how now, considering that Africans are selling Africans to Africans, we are having a very recent example of that.
I'll go ahead, finish up your story so we can end this episode.
I think I was more or less finished saying it by the time we got interrupted, but.
Well, I did add to it by making that retarded analogy about going out and buying a slave just to set it free. It's like Yeah.
You know.
So yeah, you were enslaved, but not anymore. You're free now. Feel free to pursue a career in, I don't know, web development, something like that. And then the slave was free forever.
And he had to get a job.
Yep.
Fate worse than death.
Anyway, I
But
think
is it a fate worse than slavery?
well, if you have a job, you at least have the option to just quit and live on welfare.
Yes,
it will
Artrix,
be.
but when you are a slave, you don't have to pay taxes.
But that is true. That is very true. As a slave, you don't have to pay taxes.
Become slave today.
Become slave today, you no longer have to pay taxes. Officers are limited, only 2 per customer. But yeah, I think that pretty much covers all the topics we want to bring up this week.
Well, it was the guy from Catalonia
Oh, the
who
new
was like, I
developments.
kind of like us being a country. And the Spain was like, no. So he ran away to Brussels. And Brussels is like, no, we are going to give you back to Spain because you're evil. Well, and in a typical display of bureaucratic inefficiency, they decided they are going to give him back, but they postponed it until December, like 4 days before Catalonia is voting again, even though they are not supposed to.
Wait, they're making the Catalonians vote again on independence?
Well, yeah,
Catalonia won it.
they have to repeat until they get a result they want.
It's like Artrix is like you.
Well, that's the general gist of this whole situation. You got Spain, which is basically like the EU, and Spain's like, or Catalonia's like,
Yes. Artrix. The elections in Catalonia are scheduled for 21st December, which in itself is kind of too close to Christmas for comfort, so some people probably won't be able to, right? And obviously the leaders of the largest Catalan party, which is the Catalan party that likes Catalonia being a state, are like variously in prison or ran away to Brussels.
So yeah,
I'm not sure how exactly are the people in Catalonia going to vote them. Then again, if they just want to be independent, they are going to vote them anyway.
Yeah, but I get them. You know, they already got the vote on it. Shouldn't that be enough? I mean,
Artrix, you have to understand this is Europe. This is European Union.
yeah, but that's how you find it. You just don't care.
Unless the vote goes like European Union wants, it needs to repeat. I mean, that's what they did in the Brussels Parliament after all. With what was the Dublin thing?
Yeah,
the Dublin.
In this case, I'd say Catalonia, just don't care. Just go with your original result, which is a referendum you held, and just because Spain, you know, got involved and fucked it up, doesn't mean that it's invalid.
Exactly. Catalonia, as feminists say, you do you, or as we say, Jew do Jew.
With that, have a nice Hanukkah. Play with your toll thingies, like the spinning thingies.
It's called a dreidel.
Play with your dreidels, which are much better than fidget spinners, obviously.
Actually, yes, they are.
Go ahead and go ahead and not eat pork. It's very not kosher, and all that good jazz. So yeah, that was the end of this episode of Radio Rothingham, the world's least professional and Jewish podcast of the internet. Like, favorite,
subscribe. Able to go until its end without crashing.
So
we crashed in the middle.
Yeah, it was kind of mirrored by a bunch of weird hiccups, but we got through in the end, I guess. Like, favorite, subscribe, do all that good jazz, and see you guys. Subscribe, obviously. And see you guys next week for another retarded episode of the world's least professional podcast, Radio Rothingham. You would have an outro music, but we're least professional podcast and we don't do that. So we're just gonna.
Let the music give your life.
So I'm just gonna end it. Bye.